Nikki Haley has made an unholy alliance with rhinos, never Trumpers, Americans for no prosperity. Did you ever hear that? Globalists and radical left communists to get liberals and Biden supporters to vote for her in the Republican primary. You've got a lot of Democrats voting for her. You have a crazy election. Let's all get out and let's vote for somebody that we want to run against. They want to run against because she's so easy to beat. If you look at the polls, Biden beats her by a lot. We cannot have that. The people behind Nikki Haley are pro-amnesty, pro-China, pro-open borders, pro-war, pro-deep state, and pro-Biden. Sadly, not everyone is willing to put our country first. Here in New Hampshire, Nikki Haley has made an unholy alliance with rhinos, never Trumpers, Americans for no prosperity. Did you ever hear that? Did you ever hear them? Americans for no prosperity. I added the word no in. Globalists and radical left communists to get liberals and Biden supporters to vote for her in the Republican primary. You've got a lot of Democrats voting for her. You have a crazy election. Let's all get out and let's vote for somebody that we want to run against. They want to run against because she's so easy to beat. If you look at the polls, Biden beats her by a lot. We cannot have that. We cannot have gone this far and let that happen. The people behind Nikki Haley are pro-amnesty, pro-China, pro-open borders, pro-war, pro-deep state, and pro-Biden. That's not too good. Rhino is right. Yeah, that's true. Thank you, darling. Appreciate it. She just gave me a very good idea, actually. Our movement is pro-borders, pro-jobs, pro-freedom, and it's really something that's very like common sense. 100% pro-America. It's very simple. We are the party of common sense, and that's what we are. You know, we're conservative, we're this, we're that. Who cares? We're the party of it's all about common sense. It's about strong borders, low taxes, great education, few regulations, and we had it all. We've never had an economy in history, in the history of our country, we never had an economy so good as it was just a few years ago. We never had a better border, a stronger border than we had. The radical left Democrats are supporting Nikki for one simple reason, because they know that she's very easy to beat. And you see that with the polls that just came out tonight. We're beating Biden by so much, probably get indicted 3 or 4 more times by tomorrow. They're going to indict. They're going to keep indicting, and it keeps driving my numbers up. I can't figure that one out. I'm going to donate. But I believe she's not electable. Nikki Haley wants to charge the working class a 23% national sales tax. Well, and you know that. She wants to raise Social Security retirement age by approximately 10 years. Is that right? That's what... Approximately. So you can labor until the day you die and then not collect a penny of the benefits that you really have earned and you've paid for. And if you're lucky enough to live past the retirement age of 75 under Nikki Haley's plan, and she wants to raise it, and remember this about now, she says, I would never do that, but politicians always go back to their first concept, to their first policy, to their first idea. They always do, and they'll go back to it. They'll go back to it as sure as you're standing here. And I'm sorry we got rid of the seats, but they didn't have enough room. And I heard we could have even done better, but the governor made it very difficult to get in. Does that make sense? You're governor. That's what the word is. Now, I don't imagine, because we have these rooms all over the place that are loaded up with people, but I hear they made it a little bit difficult. Nikki wants to gut. Oh, that's right. He's endorsing Nikki. You know, he ran for president. You know that. He just didn't have the courage. He didn't have the courage to announce it. He ran and ran and ran, and he was polling somewhere around Asa Hutchinson, or as I call him, Ada Hutchinson. Remember? Ada Hutchinson. So He was polling right around there. Then he decided not to run, if you looked at the poll numbers, but he never announced, didn't have the courage to announce. He wants to gut Medicare using the Paul Ryan. You talk about rhino, that's a rhino. And it was a scheme that led to Democrat ads showing Granny being wheeled off the cliff, just being wheeled off the cliff. You remember that ad? That was not a great ad for us. With your vote for our campaign on Tuesday, so important, most important vote you're ever going to take or make, you can declare that the Republican Party is never going to go back to those days of weak establishment candidates who preach cutting Medicare and Social Security at home while they spend trillions and trillions of dollars on endless wars all over the place in countries that you've never even heard of and countries that don't want us. It's a terrible thing. We're never going back to the days of globalist rhinos who promised border security before the election, but do the bidding of their open borders and donors after the election. And we're never going back to any of the things that you see that are stupid things, very stupid things. They do very, very foolish things, costly and foolish, and so bad for our country. So if you want a losing candidate who puts America last, vote for Nikki Haley. But if you want a president who puts America first every single time, you're going to vote for Donald J. Trump, and you have to get out and vote. And as soon as I lift my hand from that beautiful Bible that we're going to use, a specific Bible, a very beautiful Bible, as your 47th president, and we're all in this together. You've been great from day one. You were so great in 2016. You were so great to me. Remember, we won by 21 points. We came in. They said, who the hell is that guy? And we won by 21 points. But I'll seal the border and we'll shut down the invasion of our country, number one. That's the first thing. And we will almost simultaneously, I would say, let that have one day, right, Al? One day. But we will unleash American energy like I unleashed it before, except this time we're going to keep it going because they turned it off. We will terminate every diversity, equity, and inclusion program across the entire federal government. And I will instruct the heads of ICE and Border Patrol to begin the largest deportation program in American history. We have no choice because this is not sustainable. Our cities are being choked. This is not sustainable. 3 years ago, we had the most secure border in the history of our country. We built 561 miles of border wall and got Mexico to give us 28,000 free of charge. You think that was easy? Not easy. 28,000 soldiers we had guarding our border, and we had the best border numbers that we've ever had. We had the safest border in the history of our country, and all Biden had to do is go to the beach and relax, okay? He was there anyway, but he'd go to the beach and say, let's dismantle. We had something called Remain in Mexico. It all worked. It all worked, and it worked well. Under Biden, the USA has been turned into a dumping ground to the world, just a dumping ground. On day one, I will terminate every single open border policy that crooked Joe Biden and his administration have put onto our country. So sad. To stop the deadly drugs that are poisoning our people, I will deploy U.S. Navy to impose a full fentanyl blockade on the waters and the region where they're coming in through certain channels. They're coming overland. They're coming any way they want to come. 12 times more than came in 4 years ago. 12 times more. Drugs are pouring in.